The Hyundai Palisade has been a very successful SUV for the brand. And for 2026, there's some big changes, and I mean big. Every single feature in this car has been improved and upgraded. There are two engines, the gasoline version, which we've covered in a previous review, but this is the hybrid engine. It has a lot of very special features. That's going to make you want to take it for a test drive. The vehicle itself is 2.5 inches longer, and between the wheels, it's about 2.7 inches longer. What does that mean for you? Well, not just a bigger vehicle for more cargo space, but it gives more room for every single row. And all of that adds up to more places to put more technology and some pretty cool features that will blow you away when you see the price. And we'll talk about that as well as the very long list of competitors. Let's start off with the front of the vehicle. You've got your stacked LED lights. They look cool, they're very modern, and this is part of the new look. Including it in this black grille, there is active shutters. And what does that mean? That means when you're on the highway, they give you the best aerodynamics because it improves fuel economy. And again, with this hybrid, you're going to see even better fuel economy than you would with the gasoline version. Those vents are right here. Now, when we're looking at the front of this car, you may think it looks like an SUV. The sides effect is this very cool matte brown color, which is an additional $1,000. I love the matte colors. I think it's worth the money. There is something that you may not realize. One of the top features that I love about this car, and also it's in the calligraphy trim level of the gas, is there are cameras. These are dash cameras, and you see everybody putting these on their vehicles. They're on this vehicle standard. I think it's one of the smartest features you can add, and no one else offers it, maybe Tesla, but that's an all-electric car. This is something everybody can use. So you've got the two cameras in front, and there's also cameras in the back. We'll show you that in just a second. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter turbocharged hybrid engine with 329 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque, backed by a 6-speed automatic transmission. It has a towing capacity of 4,000 pounds. If you need more towing capacity, you'll want to go to the gasoline engine, which will have 5,000, but all of the tow hitches and the wiring are included because they know people that own these vehicles are actually using them for what their purpose is. Fuel economy for the front-wheel drive is 34 miles to the gallon combined. If you go with the all-wheel drive, it's 29 miles to the gallon, but one of the features that I really like is regular gas is used. And that's not true with all the competitors. Many of them want premium fuel, and this will help save you some money in the long haul. The trim levels are SEL, SEL Premium, Luxury, and Calligraphy. We have the Calligraphy, which is the top of the line, and believe it or not, that's their most popular trim level. The reason is once you see all these goodies, you want them. This is a bold new design, both inside and out. And you can tell just looking at the profile of this vehicle, you've got silver roof rails across the top, two glass roofs so you can have one open or closed. Very nice features when they're thinking about the passengers in the car as well as the drivers in the front row. In addition to that, there are 20-inch alloy wheels on the lower trim levels. The higher trim level, which is the Calligraphy, rides on 21-inch alloy wheels, and it's all-season tires across the lineup. In addition to that, when you own a 3-row SUV, sometimes it's difficult for people in the third row to be able to hear you. So what Hyundai has done is they put in acoustical glass, more insulation. So when you're in this vehicle and we show you the drive portion, you're going to be really impressed with how quiet the interior is. Not that the previous generation was loud, but this is even quieter. So you can have a nice conversation with someone in the third row rather than having to yell. But there's also passenger talk, so you can actually talk to them through a microphone. So they're thinking about who's using this vehicle, which I think is a very smart move for the consumer side because you're the one driving this car. The interior is even more impressive than the previous generation. The Calligraphy offers Napa leather interior, which is very nice. This is a brown-brown combination. There are 9 exterior colors, 4 interior colors, so you can find what works best for you. The steering wheel is nice. It's two-tone. I think they've done a nice job. They've moved the shifter from what used to be in the center console to here on the column, and that's where your start-stop is as well. And it's something you get used to, but once you've driven it a few times, it's super easy. Gigantic panoramic curved display is really nice and very driver focused. On the passenger side, you're getting beautiful materials, both a mixture of cloth and leather and a wood grain. I really like how they've made this very warm inside. Where not that it wasn't before, but this is a nice upgrade of offering the mixture of aluminum and real materials throughout. And this new floating console is really nice. Split center console, wireless charging, tons of USB charge ports, including 100-watt charging, so you can charge your phone up super quick. And of course, you've got that UVC if you want to clean your keys, a pacifier, whatever that might be. Personally, I wouldn't use that, but it's something consumers are asking for. This floating center console also has a 12-volt outlet down below and plenty of places if you want to put your purse or whatever it is down below. Really well thought out. One of the very cool features on the seats On the driver's seat, you not just have the full reclining component where you can stay in the car and relax, especially if you're waiting for your kids or someone to come out of a building or whatever it might be, but you've got full adjustable seating for both the driver and the passenger side. And these are like lounge chairs for both front seats. I think people are gonna be fighting to sit in that power relaxation seating that's in the front row. There's also memory seat settings here. In the second row, there's some pretty cool features, not just heated and vented seats. At a vehicle in this price point, huge plus. But every time you get into a vehicle and you gotta put your seatbelt on, sometimes it's difficult to locate the seatbelt latch. Well, Hyundai has made it illuminated. So this little teeny area here lights it up so you know where to put the other end of the seatbelt. Just a nice little feature. Armrests as well. That's something that people like. Charge ports on each side of the front seats, so you're constantly charging. Nice pockets that are behind both the driver and passenger seat. And of course, there's a really nice drawer here. This drawer is great because you can put all the goodies and all the stuff that your kids put in. In addition, you've got manual sunshades, which I think are a really nice little feature. And of course, you've got storage for cup holders in the door. Now, depending on whether you order bench seats or captain's chairs, those are great features to have. Climate control for the second row is up here on the console. There is 3-stage heated, 3-stage vented, as well as complete climate controls. Those are really nice features, especially in this price point. Heading into the third row, there's a couple ways to get the seats out of the way. One of them is by pressing this button here. The seat moves up and out of the way, which is really nice. There's also a button that's down low. The third row, it's not the penalty box because what you're getting is not just cup holders and charge ports, but 3-stage heated third row seating. You don't see that in any of the competitors, and I think that is a massive plus. And if you've got child safety seats, there are tether attachments here and 3 across the back. So if you've got 5 child safety seats or booster seats, you're gonna be really happy, and it's easy to get back into the second row and the third row, and that's good when you gotta put kids into seats. One important thing to note, because this vehicle is longer, there is more leg and headroom in this vehicle than the competitors. And the competitors better be paying attention because this is now the leader in the segment. One of the things that Hyundai did is they realized that customers sitting in the third row want to have more open glass. So that's exactly what they did. They put privacy glass on and they made that piece of glass larger so people in the third row are not in a penalty box. And that's smart because a lot of the competitors are still using those little small portholes and they can give you a headache. Now coming around to the back, you've got this upper wing, and thank you to Hyundai, they have tucked the wiper blade up underneath. And I'm constantly complaining about those that leave it down here because if you live in the cold climate and you're using an ice scraper or just wear and tear from the sun, we're here in Texas and you know the sun can really be abusive to rubber, it hides it underneath, and those wiper blades are expensive, so that's really smart. In addition to cameras, we've got a camera back here that is your rear dash camera. Again, really smart visual technology that's not just about safety, but it can save you if somebody hits you and you can say, it wasn't me, and you'll have proof. So again, really thinking about what consumers are buying on the aftermarket and then including it into the vehicle, very smart move. Matte silver across the back with Palisade, big logo here. Logo is their hybrid, their new logo here. You're gonna see a lot more vehicles coming from the Hyundai lineup. They say they're gonna come across the full line, so you're gonna see a lot of gas, a lot of hybrid, and I think that's what consumers truly want. H-Track, which is their all-wheel drive, which is the top of the line, like this calligraphy, and nice color combinations of the matte brown with the silver. Again, there are 9 exterior colors and 4 interior colors, so pick what works best for you. Warranty on this vehicle is 10 years, 100,000 miles. And that's why people buy these cars, because they know they can keep them for a long time and the company will back them. And that's really important. Also, roadside assistance is included. So before you go and spend some money with AAA, you might want to see what's included in your brand new Palisade. I know you're excited about this, so let's take this vehicle for a test drive up in the curvy roads up in Austin, Texas. Let's see how it handles, because there's a lot of new technology, not just with the engine, but also with the suspension and using a lot of these computers to make the ride even smoother and easier for you to drive. So one of the things I like about the vehicle right out of the box is this gigantic screen in front of me. Everything is here. It's about 2 14-inch screens, but the fact is it's all integrated into one. It's very driver focused. It's curved toward me, but still people in the second and third row can see the map if they want to know, are we there yet? Because you know how kids are. Steering wheel I really like. It's good sized. The two-tone colors are really pretty, and the materials inside are quite nice, soft touch. Plus there's real aluminum and real wood, and just all these materials are nice to the touch. You want that mix. It just sort of makes it feel more modern and more warm inside. Now there's Apple CarPlay, which is wireless. Android Auto is wireless. There's Alexa. And of course, you've got your Bose audio system. But one of the things that's important is visibility. You can see this little gigantic piece of glass in front of you. One of my favorite features are the turn signals. The turn signals on this vehicle is my favorite part, because when you put on a turn signal, you get the cameras, the blind spot cameras that are only available on 3 brands, and they're all related. That's Kia, Hyundai, and Genesis. Genesis is the luxury line for Hyundai, and I'm a huge fan of their products. Again, they're thinking about consumers and what they're using. And again, back to consumers in this car, you're driving it every day. The interior is so quiet. We are on a loud highway, which is one of the things I wanted to test, because when you're driving on a highway, you pick up all that road noise, all the just undulations of the road. So what Hyundai has done is not just insulated the carpeting more, they've insulated the glass, and that makes it really nice and quiet. So the lane departure warning and all the safety features are on. I like to test it with it on. Personally, some of them are too much for me, but again, you've got the Highway Drive Assist 2.0. Personally, I like to have my hands on the wheel. I know cars can drive themselves, and that technology has been around since like 2007, but I kind of like to drive the car rather than be driven. I always say if you want to be driven, then that's fine. You can always get someone else to drive. But as far as the vehicle itself, it's quiet inside. The interior is really much higher level of luxury. And some of the safety features on this car are super impressive. In addition to that, they're shooting for a 5-star crash test rating, which they typically get on their vehicles. So I'm going to assume, I will make the assumption without the actual facts in place, that this is going to be also a 5-star crash test rated vehicle. The acceleration is nice. The brakes are larger. The handling on this is improved over the previous generation. Not that the handling was bad in the previous generation, but what you're getting now is this e-handling. So they're using the technology that is part of this hybrid system, balancing the weight, balancing your handling, what they call pitch and roll. So for those of you that aren't technical, that's fine. When you hit the brakes, all the weight goes forward, the nose goes down. When you accelerate, the weight transfers to the back. That's called weight transfer. And what you're doing is you're getting a more stable vehicle. So when you're going around a corner, it's flatter. You're not getting that body roll, that pitch. And so that makes you feel more confident on the road. And I think that's really important, because that, again, all ties into the safety features of this vehicle and some of the improvements that Hyundai has made. And this is all part of not just the hybrid, also the gasoline-powered vehicle has a lot of improvements as well. There's also an X Pro trim level, which you can check that out on the other video here at Car Smarts. All the news is on Car Coach Reports. And we'll also cover this on The Drive with Lauren and Carl, which is our radio show going to over 100 stations coast to coast, or you can check it out on our YouTube channel, The Drive Car Show. As far as seating, the seats are super comfortable. You get heated and vented massage. It's full reclining if you're just sitting in the car and you want to take a nap, pull over somewhere, not while you're driving, obviously. Second row heated, vented, like I said, and third row is heated. All that's 3-stage. And the climate controls throughout the vehicle are all designed in such a way that it's really user-friendly. Everything's intuitive. Whether you've owned a Hyundai product in the past or not, you're going to get in and instantly say, I get it. I know exactly what to do. And that also is true with the center stack, where you've got your different buttons for the map or the media. Again, of course, you got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, AM, FM, all of that is there for consumers, depending upon whether you want to connect your phone or you wish to listen to satellite radio. All of that is standard in this vehicle. One of the things I like about the interior is the floating center console. Your wireless charger is right here next to your right hand, which is nice. Typically where a shifter would have been is now where your phone can sit. And if you don't want it on that charger, you can just prop it up. There's a nice little prop there. There's also charge ports there as well. And then you've got cup holders and the split center console. Again, more of this beautiful material, real stitching. They did a really nice job. One thing I love is this rear view mirror. Not everyone's doing this. When you've got kids in the car and gear and you're going somewhere and you can't see out the back, this is a wonderful safety feature. It's got HomeLink built in underneath, so you can put your garage door in it or whatever you need. I really like the fact that everything's been thought out. And there's also BlueLink in this car, so it has an SOS button. Hopefully you never need it as long as you've owned this vehicle, but it's good to know that you have it. And all the controls for these sunroofs are here as well. Everything is easy to use, and I just love how modern this vehicle is inside. Different color combinations, so don't just assume this is the only tan interior with 4 color choices. You'll be able to find what works best for you. Okay, let's talk about cargo space, the price, and the long list of competitors, and some more information. Cargo space are one of the top features when it comes to a 3-row SUV. With the 3rd row up, you're at 19 cubic feet of storage. There's also storage underneath this cargo hold. There's no spare tire included in this vehicle, but underneath this cover is a tire inflation product and a mobility kit in case you get stuck on the side of the road. Now let's talk about the space this vehicle offers. It's going to impress you. The one nice thing about this vehicle is it has power folding 2nd and 3rd row seats. And that's great when you have kids in your hands or you just came from Costco and you've got all this equipment. You can just have all the seats fold down. And now the 3rd row folds down, headrests go down, and now you're at 46 cubic feet of storage. On that same panel on the left, you switch it to 2nd row and all seats can fold down and you're at 87 cubic feet of storage. The one thing that's larger is if you get into like an excursion or something gigantic like that. And this is a lot of space. Hopefully you don't need this much space, but if you're moving your kid to college or you bought a lot of stuff at Costco, this is a very smart idea and everything is fully flat. And if you want to bring up that 2nd row, you can do that by just pressing the buttons, letting them put the seats back up, which makes it very convenient when you have children and a lot of gear. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid really impresses me, mostly in the price. Starting at $44,160 will get you the entry-level SEL. Now, you want to step up to calligraphy, you're going to think it's going to be really expensive? It's not compared to the competitors, and I'll give you that list in a moment. $56,780. Our test vehicle had the $1,000 matte paint color, which only brought up $1,000. You have destination and delivery, but overall this vehicle really shines when you compare it to the competitors. And what you're getting in technology, drivability, and the vehicle overall, this vehicle is probably going to be a winner for the North American SUV of the Year. The competitor list, this is important that you test drive all the competitors and make a decision not just based on the price of the vehicle, but also include the insurance. That's the Kia Telluride, the Ford Explorer, the Volkswagen Atlas, the Honda Pilot, Toyota Grand Highlander, Chevrolet Traverse, GMC Acadia, Subaru Ascent, Nissan Pathfinder, and the Mazda CX-90. There are other competitors in this category, but that is a huge core list. Take them all for a test drive and don't forget to do your homework. Now, if you have any additional questions about the Hyundai Palisade Hybrid or the gasoline version, put it down in the comments below. Let's start the conversation. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, as well as social media and more details on this vehicle. I'm Lauren Fix. Thanks so much for watching.